All right, beautiful souls. High vibration to you all. Appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for your time, your energy. As you can see, we played a little Snow Allegra. I want you around. The shared experience of Scorpio and Taurus, that axis is very sensual. Uh, excuse me. It is one that is about values. It is one that is about you know, it can lead to a lot of self-worth experiences and how we learn that through relationships and through shared experiences, right? Because you won't fully know yourself until you experience yourself through somebody else. Um, and a lot of times that can bring up the shadow aspect of the self on how we relate to other people. Scorpio and Taurus is very relational. It is the bridge between the shadow and how we stabilize it. All right. That's why a lot of the songs, like even with Floetry, India Irie, to come through and chill with Miguel. I had a couple songs I was gonna rock out, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't wanna, spend too much time listening to music. I love me some music. All right. But when you start thinking about songs by like solo, like with future, like it's a couple things, couple songs that put you in the aspect of the transformational energy of the scorpionic and the Taurus aspects. And this full moon is about a portal that's going to help rebuild us from the ground up, right? So we'll be going over that tonight. I'll be mapping out a lot of the energetic aspects because, I just said this a few minutes ago, but you can't bloom if your roots aren't safe, right? So this Beaver moon is going to remind us that the real work happens underground, right? And this is a super moon. So what that means is this is going to be the closest this is the last super moon that we'll have during this year. Um, with that whole energy, it means that the moon is more closer to the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, so that's what a super moon means, and it means it's going to have more of a intense influence on the tides, the waters, and that also equates to our emotions. The moon only influences you; it doesn't make you do anything, right? So whatever we choose to do is based off our emotional state and our relationship to our own emotions, not your relationship to the moon. A lot of people get astrology mixed up as if your relationship to your birth chart or your relationship to these planets has something to do with the planets not liking you or making your life hard. The astrology don't work that way. It is only our internal or our lack of the ability to, I would say, not get contracted and allow ourselves to expand, right? Through thought, through understanding that we might not have everything figured the fuck out, through recognizing our own shadow, through recognizing the things that we have allowed ourselves to go through. So this is why this is about a recalibration of the nervous system. Learning how to feel safe with abundance and pleasure at the same damn time. I just spoke on this in the clubhouse room. But this is a gestation that we're moving into, dealing with the wintertime, and this is an invitation. You know what I'm saying? This conversation, if it resonates, it might be time to deepen your transformation through a personal reading for you. If you haven't already booked your transit reading, all right. So this full moon is gonna open up a portal to rebuild from the ground up. All right. So I'll be going off into more of that on a collective level. We're being asked to redefine wealth, values, and also resource sharing. We can look at some of the things that are being restructured with the financial system and some of the things that have been taken away from people to make people stop being so codependent on the system. All right, so humanity right now is collectively under reconstruction in this area, and Scorpio season is the culmination of that. And this full moon is your invitation to make those changes internally. All right, because when you deal with the tired, fortified, right? When you talking about four, it's in support of tied, right? Fortified, so tied, that's bound, anchored, connected, right? So we dealing with a fortification to bind yourself with integrity, stability, inner alignment, right? That's the medicine of Taurus, right? That's anchoring the soul's evolution in the soil of the body. So a lot of time we reach these certain places and states in our own emotional and mental awareness, and it's not fully embodied. So anybody that knows that has got a reading from me, that has done any type of work with me, I deal with embodiment of the things that we work through and the things that we are actually get to the root of. And once you get to the root of what's in the soil, ain't no sense in you constantly letting the weed goddamn grow. Okay. So Taurus energy grounds the emotional chaos of Scorpio. All right, it says breathe, build, beautify, you know. So pleasure, embodiment, self-worth are all foundations of your spiritual infrastructure. All right, the body becomes the temple. Same thing the scripture says, right? That houses your transformation. So Tyrus reminds us that spirituality must be embodied, not just felt, but lived. This is a lived experience. So transformation is like a sacred demolition. It clears the ground for your true self to truly stand. All right. So Scorpio's gift is transmutation. It's turning pain into purpose. That's why there's alchemical energy. The endings into beginnings. This full moon is like a mirror showing where we've outgrown our own illusions of control. All right. So, what part of your life feels under renovation right now, and what foundation are you building it on? Right? These are the type of questions. And for all of you who are here, you did purchase the PDF. So you will be getting a PDF, and it will be giving you a ritual and some journal prompts to go with it. And for those of you who got the full transit reading, I'll be sending that to you as well. All right. So we're gonna build a life we want to build a life that mirrors your evolution, right? We want to ground your awakening into more of a tangible piece. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start this PDF. And once again, peace and love to you all. And for those of you who want to book a full reading, make sure you let me know if you haven't already booked it. That way I can get you started on that or get that breakdown sent out to you. So give me 1 second here. I'm gonna make sure y'all can see my screen. All right, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Now, the Beaver Super Full Moon in Taurus, building spiritual infrastructure. Now, y'all know I deal with numerology, so I had to break down the numerological code of the day. Tomorrow will be a universal day of an 8 within an 11-month and a 9 snake year. So let's decode this step by step. Now, when you add these numbers up in succession, you get the base vibration at 7, but November 11 is a master number month. And when it's integrated with both, it yields a 711 gateway. So an intuitive portal wrapped in the discipline of the 8, right? The overall annual vibration of the 2025 is a 9 year, the snake year of completion. So the 11 is going to deal with illumination and spiritual sight, all right? So this is going to be visions, dreams, right? The double pillars of the towers of perception, Scorpio polarity, seeing through the veils. All right, so this is why they deal with the De los Mortis or the Day of the Dead, dealing with Scorpio season, Halloween, trick or treat, possession. The Scorpio deals with a lot of possession spirits, so even Cancer, Taurus, is one of the most highly psychic energies because the moon exalts in Taurus. So a lot of Taurus energy can deal with a lot of mental shit, a lot of mental chatter, and not really know where it's coming from. That's why the next sign after Taurus is Gemini. All Tauruses must evolve and learn to be more Gemini-like, more mutable, not so fixed, more how to use their words, not so stubborn. You get what I'm saying? Same thing happened with Scorpio. Scorpio has to evolve into Sagittarius. So if you see the next axis for a Gemini, for I would say a Taurus Scorpio energy, is the Gemini Sagittarius axis. This deals with progressions in astrology, right? So our Scorpio sun signs must evolve and learn how to be more like a Sagittarius, straight to the point, right? Not so caught up in the muck of these emotions, right? A Sagittarius gonna tell you straight what it is, straight like it is, baby, right? Whether you like it or not. That's why Sagittarius rules the guru, right? So each sign must evolve into the next sign. Like that's how astrology works. So if you look at a Taurus and tell why they deal with communication, so does a Scorpio. They both of those signs can deal with communication because the next signs after both of them are the communication axis. So this is why a lot of people feel like Scorpios are hard to read. Until, even if they tell you what's going on, you still might not believe them. Saying that's why Sagittarius will ghost your ass. Sagittarius ain't gonna tell you shit. They don't want to fuck with you. They just want to fuck with you. You'll look up. It'll be 3 months later. Sag will pop up like, hey, I went on a vacation. So the 5 energy brings change and adaptability. The five senses, the elements, Taurus, tied to embodiment, right? Now, Taurus rules the senses of the body. That's why, based off a chemical reaction, or when somebody excites your senses, 9 times out of 10, they turn you on chemically, sexually. Okay? That's the axis of Taurus and Scorpio. So the 2025 year deal with a vibrational year of the 9, completion, global, karmic closure, the snake shedding old skins. And whenever a snake sheds its skin, they do it up against rocks. So it's not like a feel good process. You get what I'm saying? So we're dealing with the sun coming up to 7. This is all about introspection and wisdom and even spiritual science, right? So mystical logic, right? Consciousness, refinement, decoding hidden truths is what this going to be about as well. Now, when you deal with the essence of this code of 1157, right? It's kind of how I'm looking at this, right? This opens up an axis between a higher mind, 5 being the energy of Mercury in the human body, and also the messenger of the gods, and then to spiritual intellect with the 7, the cosmic mirror of Taurus embodiment, Scorpio transmutation. So I just wanted to point out that even the numbers, okay, support this, like literally. Even the numbers are letting us know um, that we're in a state of literally where we should be right now. We're exactly where we should be. Um, this is a beautiful time to be alive, I would say. When it comes down to it, us being able to find our own power, us being able to walk in our own frequency is very dynamic during this time. All right. So I just wanted to point out that power of transformation and how it's even locked into the embodiment or encoded in the stars. All right. Now, when you're dealing with the Beaver moon, this has a lot to do with the archetype of speaking, building, preparing, fortifying. See, beavers work methodically. See, I was just talking about this in off in the clubhouse room. you know Beavers are very methodical. And a lot of people, when you talking about the understanding of energies when it comes to the mind and also how the body works, right? This is why we use animals, right? This is why totem animals, all these things become very significant. You get what I'm saying? Like, so the significance of the totem animals and the significance of being in your animalistic nature, but having the awareness that is there, right? Because you can't escape it. We all have an animalistic nature about us, right? So the embodiment of the 8 vibration mastery over matter, the body is matter, right? Through dedication. This is gonna be dedicated because this is like the practice makes perfect type shit, right? But we know practice doesn't really create perfection, but it does make you more precise. Okay, it does make you more controlled. So when we start to put certain things into play in the body, it's the same essence of when somebody like Bruce Lee would say he doesn't fear a man that practiced 1,000 kicks. He fears the man that practiced one kick 10,000 times. You're gonna get better at some shit if you truly dedicate some time and energy into it. All right. So this particular day carries a 7 vibration, meaning the building is not merely material; it's energetic and architecture. Right. It's an architectural, energetic expression of you. See, this is the alchemical bridge between Ace mastery of form, Taurus, and the seven's mystical depth with Scorpio. All right. So this is me just tying 8 and 7 in the Scorpio Taurus energy because 8 deals with earth and stability and Saturnian energy, which the highest form of earth, and 7 deals with mysticism and the 8 energy, the Scorpio energy, I would say, is tied into occult knowledge and mystical shit. So to me, this is very reflective of these energies dealing with the sun and the moon principle. So building your spiritual infrastructure. So this moon teaches that success and security, Taurus, are rooted in energetic coherence. That's the 7. The Beaver as a totem invites mindful construction, channeling your divine intelligence, the 11, through sensory craftsmanship. That's the 5, into stable manifestation of Taurus. So you see the flow here? Right? They'll build like, and this is even being able to harness this energy, even being able to use the tools that are provided. You can use moon water in your rituals. I got these herbs and things that are also in the PDF that you can utilize as well. All right. So remember, all these are tools to help you embody this energy, right? The most powerful tool that you have is your body. It's the most powerful tool you got, and the most dynamic and the most intricate tool you have is your mind. All right, it's actually the greatest gift that we've given, or I would say we've been given, right? And I say a lot of times I say we because I'm on the side of humanity, on the side of nature with this thing. Okay, so the full moon at 13 degrees opposite the sun at 13 degrees. This is going to be dealing with water, form, force, value, transformation. So the core trait for this is going to be at this time of the lunation, the outer planets will be reorganizing. See, this is post Pluto and Aquarius, right? Going direct, right? Jupiter will move more into Gemini, all right, because it's moving backwards, like retrograding. It's in Cancer right now. So it's going to go into Gemini. Saturn is going to go retrograde back into Pisces. Uranus is going to go into Taurus. It's in Gemini right now. So you're going to have a lot of things that's going to be closing out these 12-year cycles because Neptune back in Aries, signaling the world where ideologies, Gemini, faith systems, Pisces, and identities, Aries, are being rewritten through material innovation, Uranus and Taurus. See what I'm saying? So these thoughts have to materialize. This means there's a quantum leap available, right? Because so this full moon is going to anchor the revolution of values into tangible grounding and the culmination of the ending of a 12-year cycle, right? So imagine where were you 12 years ago, right? Up until where you are now. This is what we're dealing with. Like the emotional baggage that you were walking around, like what's that dude say on that thing? Emotional damage. You know what I'm saying? So what emotional damage are you still carrying around from 12 years ago or even before that? Because over these last 12 years, it all could have started being revealed to you. Imagine if you take the last 12 years of your life and look at how many outside things have you been through to cause you to go into some type of internal place, right? To find peace, to find stability, to find whatever you thought you were looking for outside of you. Something forced you internally to look for this. This is the essence of us, even the COVID aspects and all this type of shit. So you can go back 7 years, 12 years, use these cycles. This is what the planets are there for, to measure cycles. On a spiritual level, it completes the story initiated by Taurus new moon earlier this year, right? When the intentions, because the Taurus new moon, it led us to this Taurus full moon, right? And this is around stability, finances earlier this year when the moon was in Taurus. So the embodiment of the work that we're planning. A lot of people started a new venture since then. You probably went somewhere, started a new cycle, but it showed you a different aspect of values, something about your money, your finances. You get what I'm saying? Something that you've been through over these past 6 months have compelled you into this. All right. So when you truly understand the power of what this means, you'll see exactly what that looks like for yourself. All right. So when you look at worth, we're planning what was planning for you. Now the results are visible spiritually. And then, when you talking about the spiritually, this is illumination and it asks you, have your values evolved to match your frequency? This ain't about looking outside of you to say, damn, my bank account ain't where it should be. Damn, I ain't got that car yet. I ain't got that house yet. And for some of y'all, I ain't got that husband yet, that boyfriend, that little flame, that little boo thing. What the new generation call now, my little flick, my little it, my little whatever. They like to call it now, my little thing, like whatever they like to use now, right? So when you're talking about whatever you're measuring the work you've done and how far you came, if you're looking for something internal, you ain't really recognizing that there's been a frequency that has been evolving. So have your values evolved to match your frequency? On a psychological layer, Scorpio and Taurus is the emotional, right, economy axis to give and take between self-worth and shared power. All right. Taurus being self-worth, Scorpio being shared power. It reveals how we trade safety for control, pleasure for security, intimacy for autonomy. All right. So under this full moon, consciousness faces the paradox, right? Security comes not from possession, all right, but from peace. Okay. Like literally. Security comes not from possession, but from peace. You understand? See, a lot of times people think that they're seeking peace, but you're really seeking liberation, right? So it's liberation you're seeking, you know? So if you want to be free for something, you got to realize that you don't possess it, nor does it possess you. See? So these are the questions that I got a Chiron and Taurus and all that good stuff. So you gotta understand, man, this energy is very, very real to me, because it's a very lived experience. And on a collective level, on a collective layer, I would say, societal values are shifting, currency, sustainability, technology, right, of Earth, right, Uranus and Taurus. Expect collective discussions around stewardship of resources, climate, and the body as a spiritual interface, right? Because what do you think is happening when somebody start volunteering their time and their energy to something, especially start sharing resources like food and all this type of shit? Your body is just an interface for something that wants to be shared a little deeper. I was just pointing this out in the clubhouse room about how when you deal with this aspect of how a lot of people, you can deal with a homeless person. And I just experienced this just not too long ago, to be honest with you. Right? Lady asked me, can I buy her a taco? Well, she asked me, could I buy her some beans and rice? Like, but then she reached her hand out, and a part of me almost didn't even want her to touch me. Right. Now, of course, I'm so energetic inclined. I know I didn't want that transfer of energy, knowing that her body wasn't kept. Right. Because when you deal with somebody that has a dirty body, their aura can be all distorted and shit. So that's just me being understanding that I'm energetic inclined. It had nothing to do because I ended up hugging the lady and told her it's going to be all right. So a lot of times, if you're not fortified in your energy, you won't be aware of when that exchange happens. Hence why somebody will make it such a burdensome thing to go feed the homeless when you probably want to do more than just feed them. You probably want to house them. You probably and see this how I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be real with you. I done seen a lot of people treat homeless people like pets off the streets. Just being real with y'all. Cause I done seen people like take a homeless person home with them, let them bathe, do all that shit, right? And then next time you know, when they get tired of that person, the water, the tub dirty, and they don't realize they don't let this person in their house, and now they might not want to leave and shit. Now you like, what the fuck did I do? See, a lot of y'all be doing that in relationships too, but I ain't gonna do that to y'all. It's just like when I say, when you looking at somebody can look at something that they want, right? Somebody could be watching a peacock. Be like, oh, I want a peacock so bad. They so beautiful, right? They so elegant. Then you finally get the peacock as a pet, and I realize that the motherfucker shit every goddamn where. Now, what you thought you love so much, you can just start to hate it and despise it. That's Taurus and Scorpio, right? Like you can get into a habitual place of dealing with this, and that's why the full moon materializes what Scorpio sun has been excavating. Right, this is going to be hidden motives behind the economics, intimacy, and energy usage. I believe that the shutdown is due to a cybersecurity breach. That's just my belief on that. All right, kind of shared that a few minutes ago as well. Now, when you're dealing with the cosmic psychology, the Taurus Scorpio axis, this axis represents the energetic law of exchange, life and death, literally, giving and receiving, embodiment and release. You see? Because Taurus gonna make you love it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Think about when you first, oh, they the one. You know how many people I know got tattoos and shit covered up? Right? So when you truly understand that, how many people you done met you thought was the one? How many people you done met, we think we're gonna be together forever. So you know it, Scorpio has to come in. Some gotta die. And a lot of times, because of this axis, depends on how it plays out in your chart or in your life, the placements of it per se, because you might not be willing to let some value system of your own die. It can seem like you always going through this merry-go-round in relationships, you know, because everything ain't about you. That's Scorpio. Cause shit, you might like coffee and I like fucking milk chocolate. Who the fuck knows? Is you gonna get mad at me because I don't drink coffee and you want me to drink some coffee with me? And I'm like, nah, give me some hot cocoa. You're like, damn, so how we can deal with likes and dislikes. And that's why unless you drop your likes and your dislikes, you'll never taste the true power of love. So when you deal with Taurus and Earth and Venus, stability and sensuality, possession, right? That's the frequency. Now the psychological task is to cultivate safety through presence and not control. Scorpio, water plus Pluto and Mars, the frequency is transformation, death, and merging, right? Two things coming together. Now, the psychological task would be learn, surrender, alchemize, fur into empowerment. Cause this is when you somebody be like, a lot of Scorpios, if you make them feel some shit, Scorpio sun signs and shit, they get deadly. Even if they don't want to let you know that they scared, like certain signs you don't want to scare. You don't want to scare a Scorpio, right? Like you know how certain signs you can play practical jokes on and pranks on and shit. Like you play with a Scorpio like that, they might fuck around and hurt you. And you was playing. But they didn't. If they sense danger, I'm telling you, if y'all got any Scorpio family members or Scorpio friends, I guarantee you, either they play on a dark level or they don't like to play at all. Like straight up, because Scorpio know how real she can get. And it's like, okay, if you wanted to, I get some Scorpios would go too far because it can get fun to them. What you think is dangerous as a prank or something, that's just tip of the iceberg for a Scorpio. That's why Sagittarius can have dark humor too. See, when you start getting off into them signs, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, these are people that can go to hell and come back. And they might leave somebody down there, but they might have sent somebody to hell, you know, and they might have went down there to visit them. You know, I sent you here, right? Like, what the fuck? If y'all ever seen, there was a show called Sandman on Netflix. He fell in love with a mortal. He was a god. He fell in love with a mortal. This the demiurge. See, this is why Taurus is the demigod. So that demiurge, he fell in love with this mortal woman. This is why you always see the gods dealing with food and sex and shit when in these movies when they come down from the heavens. Think about it. They always start dealing with human shit of the flesh. Every time. They're showing you something. Those same desires, because what happened was he got into it um with the lady he fell in love with, and he basically condemned her to hell, like to the dream world type shit. And because of that, because she made a choice, because if she would have married him, she would have had to leave her people. She wasn't willing to do it. So she wasn't willing to sacrifice what he wanted her to sacrifice to be with him. So he got upset and would like act like she made her own choice. See, this is very manipulative. It's scorpionic. That's why I'm explaining it. Because it's like your desires got you here. It's what the devil, if y'all ever watched the show called Lucifer, right? His superpower is he literally asks, what do you desire? Right? So when you start asking, like understanding that when you deal with desires, when you deal with all those things that equate after Libra, going off into Pisces, this time of the year, what these signs bring, right? This is dealing with transformation and going into the underworld. Okay. They're at the top of the chart, but this is the underworld that we're moving into at this time of the year. That's why it's the Jason months: July, August, September, October, November. All right. So together, these are dealing with polarity of matter and spirit. Master of the art, all right? Master the art of embodiment without attachment. So the polarity of matter and spirit is found in the essence of Taurus and Scorpio. Seeing human conscious Taurus roots us into Gaia, earth consciousness, and the living intelligence of the body, the senses of the natural world. Now, the body has more memory than the mind because of the cellular activity operating on memory, right? We can equate this to melanin, while we are carbon, while we are protons, electrons, neutrons, atoms, like all these things are memory based. It's like the body is soil, just like the earth. And I'm gonna give you another equation to understand the memory. This is why a woman's vagina, a woman's body knows what to do with a man's sperm. This is why your body knows what to do with food. This is why your body can grow up without your help, right? It's gonna naturally evolve, right? This is why what you eat becomes you. Whatever you plant in this soil, it's the same thing as when I plant a papaya tree fucking seed or a papaya seed for a papaya vine or whatever, or I plant a mango tree seed or apple tree seed. How you think the soil knows exactly what the seed is, right? So when you understand the memory is connected to just like the soil of the earth, this is what earth signs represent. Okay. So that's why a lot of people who have earth sign energy, Tauruses and other things like that, can be very stubborn. All right, very stuck in one way of thinking, one way of seeing things. It's the earth. You pour too much water on the earth, what you get? Mud. You bring too much wind to the earth, you get dust. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't play with the earth, man. You got to be ready for what the fuck you gonna get. So that's why a lot of these energy dealing with earth signs could be very rigid and cold. You see what I'm saying? Like it's the earth, man. Shit. Like once the tree is planted in the soil of the earth, it ain't going no goddamn where. So when you understand the power of water and why where you see water, you see life, right? And what happens to earth when it's barren. So imagine if you got a lot of earth placements in your chart and you don't have a lot of water placements. Yeah, this can make you emotionally and make your land feel barren. You need nurturing. You need nourishment. This can make you seem like you thirsty. I'm telling you. That's why a lot of people think that Taurus women, like a lot of signs, can seem thirsty by nature. I'm talking about just thirsty for attention, thirsty for love, thirsty for water. If you ain't got a lot of water in your chart, I guarantee you do some shit to cry for attention. You want something. You want skin, body to body, skin to skin. See, Scorpio, and when we deal with this energy of Taurus, rooting us into Gaia, the earth consciousness, the living intelligence of the body, the senses, the natural world. The body has more memory here, right? So Scorpio plunges us into the soul consciousness, the shadow, the sexuality, the death, the rebirth, the collective psyche, the desires of the flesh. Together they awaken the serpent, the current, the kundalini. See, I had to point this out because why do you think Kundalini energy wakes up from the base of the spine? All right, the last three vertebrae, the root chakra, the Muladhara. That's why people do some strange for some change. See, you go on the strip club, the more money you goddamn me throw, the harder they twerking and gyrating. You understand? I'm just telling you. I done seen people act reserved like a motherfucker. Let the right music come on, the right dude, cause it ain't just about anybody throwing no money. I done seen this with my own eyes. Old cat in the club throwing money and shit. Them girls don't want no parts of it, right? So when you start recognizing that value, what people see, that's why sometimes what you see is exactly what the fuck you get. But you better honor what you see. So the calling of the spine, the living symbol of the snake ear, the regenerative power of this season. All right. So the snake ear connection, as 2025, the snake ear is about closure through transmutation. The serpent and Scorpio share a totem resonance. Both shed skin to grow. The Taurus full moon grounds the metamorphosis, helping humanity anchor the new nervous system after the collective purging of the preceding years. We're going through a collective purge, and the planets are in charge of our nervous system being repurged. Now, it ain't in charge of how you deal with the memories that come up. It ain't in charge on how you still deal with the matters of the desires of your own flesh. It ain't in charge of that now. That's your willingness. That's your desire. That's your shit. That's all you. All it's saying is, if you fully aware of what I'm saying, as the planets are shifting and these things are happening with our nervous system, memories and things are going to come up. How you respond to them is your power. All right. So if you got a lot of stuff that need to come up, you're gonna feel like the planets are dragging the shit out of you right now. Okay. So November, the earth is cooling, leaves are surrendering, right? The energetic ecology, autumn corresponds to the exhale of the earth, right? So Taurus through a spring, right? Signed by the season, here mirrors the storage phase of the agricultural wheel, the keeper of the seeds for the next 6 month cycle. Thus, the Beaver moon encodes interseasonal wisdom. Build now, not from panic, but from knowing. See, winter is gestational. So if you know that winter is a process and it is a gestation process, then don't, know that. Be patient with yourself. Don't be trying to rush shit right now, right? Know that we're interseasonal. We're going through a seasonal change, okay? So, spiritually, it's time to stock the inner light, cultivate inner warmth. Emotionally, it's time to solidify boundaries that nurture, not isolate. The mental aspects, we want to refrain thoughts that support embodiment. The physical aspect is nourishment, right? Hydrate, rest, prepare. Okay. So this gateway in the human consciousness numerologically, this acts as a harmonic chord, right? The 11 is illumination, the 5 is change, the 7 is mystic wisdom, non-completion here. When projected onto the astrological mandala, the Taurus Scorpio, it becomes a portal of alchemical embodiment. 11 opens the crown, cosmic insight. 5 activates the human body, the 5 senses the temple. The 7 refines through inner science, the study, the wisdom. All right, the self-study wisdom. Taurus holds the frequency in form. Right, Scorpio transmute the shadow behind desire. Behind everything you desire is the shadow of something else that represents your power. Right? 'Cause it's the whole essence of what you desire, what you're seeking you. Right? So if you truly understand that you are the embodiment of whatever it is, if it's money, if it's a relationship, if it's whatever it is, if you fully become the embodiment of it during this period over the next 6 months, you should attract it. Okay. So that's the heaven in the body aspect. All right. So the root chakra, this the heaven in the body formula is how I want to look at this. Okay. This is like when you kind of use these, and a lot of times you will see in a lot of ancient cultures when you deal with chakras, for those of you who might be familiar with chakras, when you deal with the chakra system in a lot of culture, they only utilize 4 chakras or 3 chakras, especially Chinese. A lot of Eastern cultures kind of deal with that. All right. So just to show you what that looks like on the energetic level, the root chakra, the muladhara, the earth, the ground into the body, redefine safety and belonging. The sacral is the water. All right. This going to be Scorpio. All right. Also some Cancer energy, but in this relation, we're talking about Scorpionic energy. So this transmute desire and fear to reclaim creative power into the throat, which is the Vitashuddhi, the vibration of the 11, the speak, value, anchor, truth through sound and word. When aligned, these form a triad, root, sacral, throat, allowing the Kundalini, the snake, to rise coherently. The message is the embodiment of truth through sensual awareness and expressed value. It's one thing to know what you don't want. It's one thing to know what you value, and it's another thing not to be operating in that accord. Two totally different things. Cause knowing is just half the goddamn battle. Literally. You get what I'm saying? So when this surpasses the knowing, or this is what Aquarius, Pluto, when it surpasses the knowing, it becomes transformative and it becomes embodiment. Now it's your stability. Now you rooted in some shit. Who gonna check me, boo? Right? Who gonna check me for what I value and what I want? Who the fuck am I afraid of? When we truly realize that a lot of the things that we deal with are based off emotional attachments and shit, and how that whole energy can be found in an aspect of not fighting the self. You know what I'm saying? Like not fighting you, right? Not saying yes with your lips and no with your heart. So, you know, collectively we're exiting survival frequency, Taurus shadow, and obsessive control, Scorpio shadow, transforming into thriving and wholeness spiritually and physically. Harmony reflected in the material. This full moon sits in a decade where AI, climate, and consciousness are demanding new definitions of value, like literally. So we're learning to use power here, right? Scorpio to nurture life. literally. That's what the energy of our sit. A lot of these principles, how she had to go, honoring a snake is a snake. You know, or Sid had to honor that her brother Sid could have killed her and fucked up her pregnancy. You get what I'm saying? But instead, you know, she didn't deny the fact that she was dealing with something that could really take her out or harm her child. Right? She honored it for what it is. That's not lying to yourself. You gotta honor a snake for a snake. Right? If somebody's been revealed to you and you realize that this is no longer something that you want in your life, no so longer something that is in alignment with you, ain't no reason why you keep dealing with it. You can't say after you have the awareness that you don't like something and you don't want to deal with something, and if you keep dealing with it and accepting it, that's a you thing. You can't say somebody manipulating you. You can't say somebody playing on your top, or whatever the case may be. You said yes to some shit that you don't know how to walk away from, and really, in essence, is you not allowing an old version of you to die. You think it's connected to the relationship, when in actuality, it's all about the evolution of the relationship with your goddamn self. All right. So we deal with the conscious turn, the egoic possessiveness of Taurus is devolving into co-creative stewardship. The destructive secrecy of Scorpio is transmuting into the transparent transformation. Humanity is practicing emotional intelligence on a planetary scale, learning to regulate collective nervous system through value alignment, right? Ecological coherence and compassionate truth. You know, I found myself as a Scorpio moon because I deal with a lot with adding to people just to be transparent with y'all. And a lot of time my Scorpio moon, Gemini sun, sometimes I'll be a little bit too transparent, which I don't give a fuck because I ain't afraid to get naked in front of the crowd type shit. But when you some of the people I work with, and what happens is because I show up and I share and I love, right? This just me honoring that it's not other people, right? I had to realize that damn, I can't when you talking about showing up and giving of yourself and being of service and just want to do it, knowing that I can do all this on my own, which is obvious, right? I don't need a lot of people when I do my thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, but if I do invite you on, or if I do want to add to what you got going on, and I genuinely showed up. Right, this is how a lot of us do. We genuinely love, we genuinely give, we genuinely just care for people, and then that shit can get misused. It can get taken advantage of. It can get undervalued. You see the tired shit because all you really want to do, or all you really have the capacity to do, is fully sure of yourself. The money ain't shit to you. The phone calls, none of that things. It mean nothing to you to light up somebody's life. It's not about the tangible things because you value the person. When you operate like that in a world where people are just so transactional, to where people are manipulative, to where people do shit to get by, to where people do misuse and mistreat people and shit like that. Yeah, you got to be able to stand in your own individuality for that. You know, so that collective nervous system thing is going to be real, you know, because as you integrate into more spaces and places with different people, you might start to realize how many people are still stuck in their own bullshit. All right, and you might have to give the truth compassionately, knowing that whatever they got going on, they got shit to do with you. So standing in your individuality is going to be huge right now, right? So some of the practical magic and ritual, y'all know I like to give rituals with every goddamn thing. I got a North Node in Virgo. So the builder's offering is to craft something tangible, food, art, written intention. This embodies your gratitude for stability. Leave it at your altar overnight to charge under the moon. Okay? So value, invocation, affirmation. I ground the divine through the body of the earth. I release fear of loss and embody trust in flow. All right. My worth is innate. My energy is sacred. My foundation is sound. Okay. So here's a couple of breathing counts you can do to help embody that energy as well. You can visualize this serpent moving up to your spine and crystallizing as emerald light into the heart and the collective prayer that you can visualize humanity anchored in love. All right. As you can see, my prayers are energetic. All right. That's people ask me how I pray now. I'll be like with my energy. All right. I'm a walking prayer. We are all walking prayers. We're all a walking manifestation. You are a walking word in motion. So you don't have to ask or beg for shit when you know that you are it. All right. So be a walking motherfucking prayer. Okay. Be a walking energetic expression of prayer. All right. So under this beaver moon of Taurus, the snake year, the seven energy, with a snake year and the 11.5.7 energy, the portal calls humanity to stabilize the frequency of rebirth, to build sacred structures from the wisdom of transformation. So this lunation's essence is spiritual embodied lunation, illumination, mundane refined values through sustainability, personal ground sensual presence, release attachment, speak value into being, evolutionary, integrated heaven and earth through the human nervous system, the true beaver built down between worlds. So build you a dam between them bullshit ass worlds and them old ass narratives that don't serve you no more. Put a dam between that shit. All right. Use the beaver energy. Okay. Now here I want to break down more of this axis, right? Because these are some of the things y'all don't heard me talk about this so much, but I want to give you more in depth on why I say these things, especially with Scorpio energy. And anybody that has the axis or Chiron and Taurus or whatever the case may be, especially big Taurus placements, you don't heard me ask you. You have to ask yourself, do I possess this or does it possess me? See, Taurus, what I own, what supports me, the felt sense of value and comfort. See, Scorpio, what owns me, my secrets, unconscious drives, my power exchanges, the engines of desire and transformation. You see how they work? Scorpio is at the core of whatever the fuck you have, right? Because Taurus is what you have. Whatever you have, you desired it. If you look around your life and if you say see something that you didn't desire, you better ask yourself, why the fuck do I have it? I bet you ain't willing to give it away. Let somebody come ask you for it. See, that's what happened with Tyra shit. Okay. A lot of people don't know or value something or what until it's gone. Or until somebody else want it. See, it's just like a child when you playing and then the child want everybody to come sit with them in the play box, right? I don't know, some of y'all might have been children like this, okay? You want everybody to come play with you in a little sandbox. You got your toys out. You thinking it was gonna attract people, all this other shit, right? The moment everybody come over there, now you ready to put all your toys up, you don't even want to play no more. See, people do that shit all the time. You know, you do all this shit to attract all this attention. Then when you get it, like, oh, I'm finna run. I'm an introvert. I do not understand a lot of people who find themselves in a crowded space, and the first announcement they make, I'm an introvert. You a damn lie. That's what you is. Because if you was an introvert, you wouldn't be in here. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, how you around all these people? Now you an introvert who seek attention every now and then. That's cool. Be real with yourself. See, you gotta ask yourself, do I possess this or does it possess me? So what owns me? My secrets, my unconscious drives. Acting like you don't want no attention, knowing damn well you do. And just like how, I gotta say this, the sexual energy, Scorpio, women end up posting half naked pictures and then wondering why niggas in your inbox and shit talking about, hey, beautiful, hey, sexy, good morning, and all this shit. You know you wanted some attention. If you didn't, you wouldn't have posted. It wouldn't have took you 10 pictures to post one.
Oh, rude.
So it's like, how how many people actually post the first picture that they take? You get what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker, get the picture and look at it, cause you don't want people to look at you and you looking crazy. It's okay. We human. We all like a little attention. The internet just blew the shit the fuck up. I tell people all the time, we went from wanting attention to somebody in our class, somebody in our neighborhood, could have been our parents, whatever the case may be, to now with the click of a button, you can feel like the whole world can know your name. People now do posts with the hopes of going viral. That's how
Yeah.
mad this shit is.
Oh,
They
it's
don't
true.
want just their people in their neighborhood or on their friends. This is like they want everybody to like and share it, and everybody.
Everybody.
So it's like everybody get to see this shit. You get what I'm saying? So when you start understanding the power of transformation, um, and also the full moon, right? Because those unconscious things and the desire. and what wants to be transformed. See, the full moon and Taurus are going to bring that polarity into relief. So this illumination is of what's been building underground, what's been hidden, and what must be liberated, transformed, and consecrated into sacred use. Because, for me, like just to give y'all another example as a lived experience, like I now do a lot of work with herbs, right? I used to work with weed, literally. I used to pack up cocaine. Now I pack up powder of herbs. I'm just giving you the try. It's the same thing, but it's two different purposes. I could have easily said I don't want to do nothing ever again associated with drugs, which I made that vow, right? Not to sell drugs again. Rich, it wasn't really my choice, to be honest with you. But it was like as things were removed from me, and I realized, like, boy, you being blessed, you being graced. It could have been a whole lot. So you start to take heed, right? Warning come for destruction. I had a lot of warnings to let me know, leave the drugs alone. Okay. So in that aspect, I started to catch myself. I'm weighing up herbs. Now I know I can eyeball herbs like I did weed. I can go pick out an ounce of herbs without weighing it. Same way I did with weed. I can now when I'm packing up powder, like when I'm making because I make my own pills. Why? Because I got the skills. I don't care if a stripper. What do you think? See, it's just like when you start talking about a profession. If you change the stripper's profession and you look at the skills she gathered from being in a strip club, because she had to learn people management off top. She had to learn some financial literacy. Okay. She had to learn how to communicate. She down there had to become a sense of HR and management at the same goddamn time. I'm just saying, you know. She had to know how to detach. She had to know how to seduce to get what she want, right? So when you start looking at anything that you've experienced, right? Like people that run drugs, that's why how a hustler can become a good businessman. If you was a good hustler, right? Because I had to learn how to manage money. It was times when I used to save $30 a day when I was hustling. See, those type of skills transfer right over into my spiritual life. So I'm just telling you that when we deal with these identities, see, this can be the archetypal energy, and especially the way we deal with the demigod and the phoenix energy. Because the Taurus energy is the demigod and the highest expression of that, right? So when we're dealing with the embodiment of divine craft, sovereign stewardship of matter, right? Knowing how to work with the land. Somebody you can call, they know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to plant, how to do certain things, building shit with their hands, real estate people, construction. How many men we know work in construction, right? Why do you think Jesus was a fucking carpenter? So stop playing with this energy. You understand? So that's the custodianship, sacredness though. Cause the custodian at wherever you at, I don't give a damn what you find yourself doing. The custodian at the job, at the stadium, at the wherever, that motherfucker know everything.
I should.
The custodian know all the secrets. You know? The custodian got all the keys to the doors. He know what shit at when people don't even know where it's at. So don't play with custodian now. Don't play with that. So when Taurus is at its apex, right, it's a general ruler of form. It knows pleasure. It knows limits. It knows how to shape and preserve. It's not greedy. It's sacredly abundant. So Scorpio in its equals Phoenix at its highest expression. And I'm gonna tell you, the sacredly abundant energy is how when you see people, even in the aspect of like when you see the gods come down to earth and you see these Greek movies and shit, right? And oh god damn, we just went through this right now. This Greek Roman mythology shit. See, this shit is wild. I'm gonna give y'all the Greek Roman mythology still playing out today. I'm talking about literally today. What did Trump just recently have?
I don't know.
Didn't he have a ball? So don't tell me y'all didn't see Trump ball. Now y'all that mad at Trump? I don't want nothing he do. See,
Mhm.
y'all better pay attention. The man just had a whole ball. Okay, the man had a whole ball, and it was a Great Gatsby ball. Okay, the Great Gatsby, the 1920s. What happened during the 1920s? Anybody remember? We got in the history books. I know none of y'all weren't born in 1920. My grandmama was. She ain't alive right now. So I'll tell y'all what happened in the 1920s. We did a lot with the Great Depression, right? Think about this. In Roman times, how many times did you, when you got these Roman movies, because we didn't live then either, so all we got the depictions of these movies and books and shit that we done read. I just so ever happened to study Roman Catholicism and all type of shit. In the Roman times, one of the main things they used to do, even in the midst of a famine or whatever the case may be, they would throw a elaborate ass feast. You want to know why they would do that? Because it psychologically separated people from the survival list to the haves and the have-nots. Let me just put it that way. Okay. People are running around was talking about SNAP benefits, don't know how they gonna eat. And this man just threw a whole elaborate ass ball with food everywhere, women in wine glasses and shit. They dancing and shit. You get what I'm saying? This is Roman, this is psychological warfare. This is to keep us in the thought process of scarcity and lack to think that you got to be a part of something in order to have something. Why do you think niggas get rich and want to move out the hood? Not come back and build up the hood, right? It's not the thought process, not what's taught. Because what's taught is you try to real build back up the hood, they gonna kill you. Or the white folks gonna take you out. You see the fear? I'm just showing y'all the dynamics on how the psychological warfare is still playing out, even on this axis during this time of the year. All right. So the
Don't think
Scorpio,
about
the Phoenix, the highest expression, the soul alchemist who harness death. Who's that? You can you mute your mic for me? Thank you. The soul expression, when you deal with the soul alchemist who harness death and rebirth, Scorpio burns the dross and the luminous ash and then rises. It contains taboo, right? The transformational fire, the regenerator of meaning. Together, the highest expression, Taurus grounds the Phoenix rebirth into enduring architecture. See, don't nobody talk about this shit with no Scorpio, with no Phoenix energy. Everybody want to fly, fly, fly like the goddamn Phoenix. You understand? I'm rising from the edge. I'm doing on. I'm cutting off what no longer serve me. 5 years later, I'm rising from the ashes. I'm cutting off what no longer serve me. 5 years later, I'm cutting off what no longer serve me. I'm right. How many times you gonna be rebirthed around this motherfucker? That's all I want to know. Well, wait a minute. And that mean we supposed to be somewhere overnight? No, I'm talking about how you embody what you've already integrated. You ain't got to keep healing from the
the
same
book my egg
cycles and
next
shit.
time.
See? So this is how together the highest expression, Taurus grounds Phoenix rebirth into enduring architecture. Scorpio furnishes the metamorphosis. Taurus builds the temple. See, this is how 180 becomes 360. Wisdom, polarity harmonized into integrated wholeness. All right. So when we want to bring these two things in together, this is how we move and how we bring desire and possession, how this axis operates. Taurus desires to steady, to keep, to enjoy, right? Desire is
I think I want to
sensory,
discard.
right?
Where is it?
Textures and survival. Can you mute your mic for me? Thank you. Textures and survival, comfort and status and security, right? So Scorpio desire to merge, to know, to transform. So desire is catalytic. It's a catalyst. It pursues intensity and truth, sometimes at the cost of dissolution. This is how somebody can be like, I wanted to know the truth because I don't give a damn if it hurts me. Because I need to know. This is why the secrecy of Scorpio. Tell me what's hidden. So, because I something, this is why women always want to know shit. Just tell you straight up. All right. So, any brothers in the room, brothers, I'm telling you right now, this is why they always want to know shit because a part of them just knows shit. And they will pursue that at any cost of dissolution. That's why I'm telling you, I've done work with women. I've been on the phone with a woman who followed a man clean out of town. And I'm saying, just turn around. I gotta see. I gotta know. I gotta know, sissy. I gotta know. Cause she ready to dissolve some shit. See, Scorpio, it don't give a fuck how dangerous it can get. If I had to get to that depths of it to get to see the truth, then that's what the fuck I had to do. And that can be toxic as fuck. Cause imagine getting there and it was just you tripping. Imagine getting there and it wasn't even that serious. Now you look crazy, deranged. Y'all know that Martin crazy, deranged. You hear what I'm saying? So you got to be very mindful, cause this can turn stalkerish. You see where I'm going with this, right? This how a lot of women that's beautiful and fine or whatever. And a lot of men think that a lot of people want them and shit. A lot of men want them or whatever. Man, it's hard to trust them. That girl is dangerous. What? She's poison. Hey, you talking about Scorpio shit? Okay. What's his Moneybag Yo got a whole song talking about dating a Scorpio. All right. So you gotta be very mindful when you playing with these women because they are scorpionic. Okay. So Scorpio, you know, that position, versus possessed dynamic. Because when egocentric, Taurus clings, possessive. Scorpio manipulates or obsesses, possessed by desire. Okay. I'm gonna say that one more time. When it's egocentric, Taurus clings. This becomes possessiveness, right? Scorpio manipulates or obsesses, possessed by desire. Once I know what you desire, I can control you. Once a woman knows what you want from her, she damn near got you. Got you, bitch. Cause I can act like I'm gonna give it to you. See, this is how women ought to play. Like I'm giving up a little of y'all secrets, women. I'm sorry, but it's how I gotta go. A lot of us men already know it anyway. This how a lot of men ever end up getting friend zoned. Cause I don't want to lose what the nigga bring, but he ain't getting no pussy though. You get what I'm saying? Like this nigga check on me, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, whatever. But I can't see myself giving a nigga no pussy. But why I keep entertaining it? There's a desire here. That is manipulation. I just gotta be real with you. And I'm gonna tell you, children do this shit naturally. They don't desire nothing sexually out of you. But what do children desire? And when a child knows that you know what they want, think about a baby that keep coming in Christmas time coming up. Oh, here it come. Right? Think about a child knowing you know what this child want. All these mamas in here right now, and that baby come in there and they done told you what they want, and now they frown and they might just have an attitude. I know you still ain't tripping over me not buying you. Da, 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 da. I know you still ain't trying to get me to do this. Da, 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 da. You see the manipulation? Some people just never grow out of it because their parents probably. A lot of people, that's the only way they ever got attention by manipulating for it. Tell you straight up. A lot of people didn't get the attention they wanted until they got manipulative. And why do you think they still do it in their adult years? Because it worked when they were children. So if that's what they did, is what the fuck it is, right? So when evolved, Taurus become a steward. I possess this to survive life. Scorpio becomes an initiator. I am possessed by a call to evolve, which purifies rather than controls. All right. So when you recognize what is keeping you possessed or whatever the case may be, you can recognize your attachment to it, and then you can work towards alchemizing that thing. You got to initiate that first, though, right? So when we dealing with a limit test, like ask, deeper, right? Than do I want this? Ask it is supporting my soul architecture or is it draining it? See, ownership that supports embodiment equals healthy tolerance. Intensity that catalyzes rebirth without annihilation is healthy Scorpio. And I had to put that annihilation because sometimes we will annihilate ourselves because we just want to go into this shit so bad. It's so intense. I was just, an old school saying, I'm from the streets, y'all. So it's like, dick get hard, pussy get wet, right? And I talked, this shit. Sometimes if you just cause it's hard, just cause it's wet, don't mean you should be doing it. Cause before you know it, you wanted it so bad, it was so intense, you desired it so much. Now some people don't do this with just sex, right? You can do this with somebody's attention, all kind of shit. You did it was just burning in you, burning, just burning. I had to do it. I had to say it. I had to post it. I had to send the text. I had to do something Goddamn me. Because I was looking for something. Okay. Now you feel like you done annihilated yourself. Or just done took away all your little shadow work. All your little shadow work gone down the drain with a text message. You know what I'm saying? Like all your little shadow work gone down the drain with the answer of a phone call. You're like, fuck, this motherfucker just do something to me. Well, now it's just you doing it to yourself, but okay, whatever. All right. Now, when you're dealing with the code knowledge of secret versus sacred, all right, because secret is a lower octave, hidden information hoarded for power, leverage, or ego, or protection. So it breeds fear and creates shadow economies right inside relationships and systems and shit. This how a lot of times people have secret bank accounts. Motherfuckers don't know how much money they spouse really got. Like that type of shit shows up in relationship. That's real, right? Motherfuckers stealing money, saving money, trimming money out the joint account. Done got a whole nother account. You don't even know what's going on. Like we supposed to be in a whole shared experience. They supposed to be to death do us part around this motherfucker. Bitch, I'll kill you. So when you start talking about these shared experiences, this shit is real. All right. So when you're dealing with the sacred and the high octave mystery held with reverence as offered as medicine. This is like an initiation that binds community via trust and conscious reciprocity. So how Scorpio reframes occult, which occult means hidden. Scorpio is the custodian of initiation. I want you to really imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine as you going through your initiation process, you going through your shadow work. Scorpio, which is Pluto is the ancient ruler of it, right? Scorpio is your custodian. Scorpio is the one cleaning up your shit. Scorpio is the one making sure your bathroom stay clean, making sure everything is light and good when you come back the next day. So if your Scorpio energy ain't right, yeah, this is gonna be bad spiritual hygiene. You understand what I'm saying? You in a loop. Every time you come around, it's the same shit. This that dark ass cloud that can be on people. Some people come around like, oh shit, here they go. And a lot of time when you were going through your transformation, it felt like, oh, now they don't even want to see me coming. Yeah, they hate I came around. Instead of realizing, like, damn, why am I still coming around these people knowing I need to be sitting with my goddamn self right now? See what I'm saying? It's just a flip. Yeah, I know it's not a easy one to make, right? So what's when we dealing with what is hidden, not meant to be hoarded as a weapon, but it's meant to be transmuted into ritualized wisdom, right? The full moon's light exposes what's been secret, inviting transformation into the sacred. All right. So, when you talk about transforming secrecy into sacrament, ritual contains vows, oath, and initiatory rites, right? When you start making vows to yourself, these are like the laws of Maya. I have not, I shall not, I will not. And when you start making these self talks and telling yourself, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and telling yourself, I don't give a damn what happens, I ain't eating no goddamn pork chops no more. All right. It might take for you to down there have a heart attack, but it might take for you to go to the doctor and they like, well, you don't know what's going on, but your blood pressure, this and that. You like, well, I ain't eating that no more. You see how something would damn near scare you to death before you find. I'm just saying, this is Scorpio shit, y'all. I'm just speaking of Scorpio, okay? So to share the Scorpio experiences, right? The individual, the tyrant's expression. Scorpio is collective death, right? Shared trauma, inherited secrets, and financial webs, right? Intimate power dynamics. So these are communal substrate or layers, right? That often are unconscious that everyone dips into. So Taurus is individual embodiment of how you digest that collective substrate and decide on boundaries, resources, and livelihood and sensual life. So at an intersection, shared Scorpio experiences, when you're dealing with pressure, right? Taurus individuals, kind of get pressured into renegotiate what they own materially or physically. A lot of Tauruses end up having to go through that, right? Because the shared experiences come in with the Scorpio, and the Taurus got to really ask themselves, shit, what the fuck am I attached to here, right? Because the Taurus, when they don't want to do some shit no more, they'll leave all that shit behind. They'll let you have all of that shit because they don't value it no more. Scorpio will do the same thing. So when you're dealing with a collective revelation, you're dealing with about finance or trauma force. forces an individual to ask, is my sense of security built on a foundation that harms or heals? These are real questions that you can ask yourself. So a healing pathway is to be able to use Scorpio's catharsis for communal truth telling, but channel it through Taurus's regenerative stewardship. Build systems, financial, relational, spiritual, that honor both depth and stability. Because Taurus wants you to build a system that honors the shit that you done transformed. You get what I'm saying? You can't say that you don't want to eat the same, you don't want to do the same shit no more, and you steady getting up every day, taking your ass to the same restaurant. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't gonna work that way. You can't think that my whole value, something gotta change, right? I gotta do something different. I gotta introduce myself to a new way of seeing, a new way of being. That's gonna be a whole new value system. Because once you start to value this body, right, that dynamic, the stability becomes internal. It's not about an external shift. Once you embody this, and people in my numerology class, we talked about this with the number four. Wherever your Taurus placement is in your chart, if you are a Taurus or whatever the case may be, find out where your sun sign is. What house is your sun sign in? Those are the areas of your life to where if you honor that on an internal level, material stability will find you. All of the planets and all the energies in your birth chart that deals with the earth energies, especially that are surrounded by Taurus, even with Saturn energy, can tell you about if I honor my connection with my body this way, it will express itself and manifest in the outer world. Now I got fire, earth, and water as my big three. Earth is my north node. For me, that's unfamiliar territory. So I'm having to transmute my relationship with my fire, my intensity behind money, my emotion connection behind money with my water, and how I think about money, right? But this also equating to the internal work I've done with my own self in those areas of self-worth, in those areas of knowing my skill set, in those areas of knowing my power, in those areas of knowing who I am and what I can create. The full embodiment ain't happened yet. And the only reason why I'm saying yet is because I have yet to see it fully manifest in my outer realm. Now, does that mean I'm negating the work that I've done? No, because I am rooted spiritually, because I have built a spiritual infrastructure. There's nothing that life can throw at me that'll make me waver. I'm not coming off of it. That's the spiritual depth. You see what I'm saying? I'm just giving y'all real life shit behind how I've had to embody. And even when life go to life, and I constantly have to embody. All right. So in a relationship dynamic, intimacy versus toxicity, right on this axis is about deep, intimate connection with the highest expression, right? Mutual stewardship, right? Taurus individuals bring safety and sensual curl. Scorpio partners bring depth and initiation, the willingness to face the shadow. Reciprocity, right? Resources and secrets are exchanged as offerings for growth and mutual empowerment. So a Taurus person will share something tangible with you when a Scorpio want to sit down and light a fire and let's talk about your deepest desires and your deepest shit. Let's get it all out. I'm here for it. Taurus don't want to do all of that, but if I bought you something to eat, if I gave you my favorite motherfucking t-shirt and you my girl, you see me wear, and now I'm over here like, yeah, I love this t-shirt. Well, let me wear it, baby. A Tyrus mail ain't gonna be like, if I let you wear it, you might well keep it. Like if they start giving you their possession, something that is sacred to them, that is their way of sharing themselves with you. If your love language is words of affirmation and all this, you gonna be feeling like this motherfucker don't, they think they can, it ain't about what you buy for me. See, this is why a lot of men operate in that dynamic. And a lot of times men don't show up emotionally available. So I'm just telling you the dynamic of how it shows up on that level of reciprocity, right? And how we can exchange both. You tell me your secrets, and in exchange, I might be like, "Now you told me you were feeling this type of way, and I heard how every relationship that you've been in, nobody ever really cared about you or how you felt, or if you was hungry today, or whatever the case may be." Then I start doing more of that shit. See, that's kind of like the way that energy wants to show up. You know what I'm saying? Versus, see, that's the Earth. I got a Mars in Taurus and a Venus in Taurus. So I might go to meeting your everyday needs and cooking for you. You might meet me and I might tell you, well, because you told me you've been dealing with this all your life. You've always had to worry about this or that. I'm gonna make sure you don't have to worry about that ever again while we together. And somewhere along the line, you do that, but damn, I need more. You see what I'm saying? Like nothing will ever be enough for some people. I'm just saying. So that's why you gotta know that you are enough. That's why you gotta know your power, your worth, and all that shit. So you can stand on it, even when other people are feeling like what you do or just your presence alone is not enough. Okay? Cause that what happen. We're dealing with human beings, dealing with people and they own shit out here. And you get into a relationship, everybody ain't gonna be where you at. Okay. So radical transparency with sacred boundaries, right? This is like being able to say it because it's on my heart. I know it might make you feel some type of way, but we're gonna get this shit out the way now. So we won't have to keep having this conversation, right? So vulnerability is held tenderly, right? So toxic connection, shadow expression, hoarding plus control, Taurus clinging to position, Scorpio withholding or weaponizing secrets. You know, I'm gonna tell you, the Scorpio moon, my Chiron and Taurus, I've done both. All right. And I've had to learn how to let go of both. Say what's on my mind, say what I've been holding on to, because I've been weaponizing it. You don't know that you lied to me. You don't know that I know that you were doing whatever the fuck you were doing and you thought you got away with it. So you wondering why I've been treating you different. You wondering why that's weaponizing secrets. You ain't said it. Say the shit. Let somebody know what you know. Let somebody know what it is that you're feeling. Otherwise, you're weaponizing information. And we're in a world where people do that shit on a norm. All right. So the power imbalance is gonna be scorpionic manipulation, jealousy, coercion. See, this is our coercion. We can get people to, y'all know what coercion mean, right? See, a lot of people don't understand how you be out here coercing people and shit you know, trying to convince people to do shit based off your own fucking emotional needs and shit. That's coercion. How you gonna coerce me into answering a question? How you gonna coerce me? Man, people do so many things in coercion and don't even realize that they are doing it. The shit is crazy to me. So being able to use these words to help people see some of their own shit, even recognizing your own shit is some powerful shit. Cause I myself, right? I got a Scorpio moon. I've had to learn that wait a minute, this is coercion. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like you compelling somebody to do something against their will. You know what I'm saying? Through force or intimidation or other pressure, right? And some people can do this. You know damn well this person told you they set a boundary. They told you they don't want to do this no more. They told you they're in a space to where they got to spend more time for themselves or whatever the case may be. And you still coming with your manipulation tactics and shit. Yeah, it's coercion. So when you pair that with a Tarian confidence or Tarian codependence, that's an imbalance. Because Tyrians can become codependent and the coercion of Scorpio. So motherfuckers start doing jealousy, manipulation shit, and coercion tactics to stay codependent or to keep you codependent on them. And a lot of women deal with this too. Saying this nigga try to keep me broke, try to keep me down. All this kind of shit. I'm just telling you, like, you can be in shit. I done women done this to men too. You in a whole relationship with somebody, and they making sure that you don't never be all right on your own. Never about empowering you to do something for yourself because they want you to always need them. Like it's some people out there that's like that, and it's some people that be so codependent to where they want to always need you, and it's some people that can be so manipulative and so narcissistic where they have a need to be needed. I'm just giving you the emotional spectrum in which this can exist. All right. So the diagnostics and the signs of intimacy produce fear, shame, and chronic guarding, financial sabotage, secrecy, or coercion. You're in the shadow loop. If intimacy produces safety, fertile vulnerability, shared ritual, and regenerative reciprocity, you're in the axis of medicine. So you got to ask yourself, where are you in your relationships and the level of intimacy now and your connection to these energies of secrecy and coercion and the financial sabotage and all that good shit, right? What is going on with this, right? Is this a shared experience? There's something that you're coercing yourself to be in. Now, the psychological architecture of this axis, Taurus psychology, fears of scarcity, survival based attachments, identity invested, right, in possessions, comfort. Healing requires rerouting or rerouting into intrinsic worth. So, Scorpio psychology, fears of dissolution, betrayal, annihilation of identity. Healing requires cultivated trust in the process of rebirth and transparent relating. How the full moon catalyzes the psyche and the illumination reveals where we outsource our aliveness to external forms. Taurus or outsource our safety. Taurus, right? That's the Taurus, the external forms of Taurus, or outsource our safety to secrecy and control. Scorpio. The work is to integrate. Let Taurus's bodyfulness hold Scorpio's transformational process and vice versa. Let them work in tandem. Because some of the therapeutic goals will be developing emotional regulation, not reactive possessiveness. Y'all heard me always say this about responding, not reacting. Right? The trauma informed shadow work, right? Not suppression. So and rewire reward system. So pleasure is not tethered exclusively to external possession. This can be so hard for us to do. We want, it becomes this external reward system, and this can be taught through indoctrination as well. Okay. You do something good, you get a trophy, you get a sticker, you get to go to the next grade, so forth, so on. All right. Instead of saying that I honor what I've learned, to honor how far I've grown, honor that I don't respond or react from the same place that I once did. So a lot of the growth that we're honoring her and measuring is internal, it's not external. All right. So the 180 to the 360 stages towards full embodiment and wisdom. Think of this axis as developmental spiral within stages that you can practice and mark in ritual cycles. Right? Awareness and illumination. Full moon shines lights on attachment and hidden motives. Right? What do you own and what owns you? Moon exposes it. Right? Witness non-judgmental witnessing. See with sensations, feelings, and narratives around value and secrecy. Taurus ground, Scorpio plunges. All right. See, these are some things that you can kind of do along the way to help embody this energy. All right. And once again, y'all to get this so y'all can go back into this and kind of dive into this for yourself. But I really want you to be able to understand that this is all about an integration process for you. Now, some of the practical tools for building a spiritual infrastructure. Audit your resources, finances, time, relationship, reputation. Whereas energy leaking? Where is it invested? Right? Build safety line items in your life. Emergency self-care fund, boundaries that are non-negotiable. Tyrus needs that scaffolding. So the Tyrus energy gotta have something to where it's set in stone. No matter what, I'm not touching this. And I'm telling you, with a Chiron in Taurus, a Mars in Taurus, and Venus in Taurus, when I don't have that, my Taurus don't feel grounded. It don't feel, you get what I'm saying? It ain't that it's me. I know that the Taurus energy feels volatile because I'm not doing what I need to do to help this energy stay more harnessed. Now I got to do extra work on my nervous system and shit. You know, now I got to do more deeper breathing and shit because my thyroid energy is imbalanced. I ain't, my self care fund. I ain't got that, right? I was negotiating with the self care fund. Something else came up, and I said, "Fuck it," right? So this is also how you start to change whatever you view self care to, knowing that you deserve the final thing. I remember hustling. It was days where I used to be like, shit, I'm finna eat noodles for the next 2, 3 months or whatever, 2, 3 weeks or whatever the case may be. I wasn't no going out to eat. You know what I'm saying? So certain things like that. Then I was like, I deserve to eat what I want to eat every day. Then I've been telling myself, you want more money, you just do things to get more money. So it is a process that you got to go through on your own. Once again, depends on where it is that Tyrus is placing in your chart. And if you want the $99 personal transit reading, I will break down that Tyrus Scorpio axis for you to help you understand your energies around scarcity, lack, and all that good shit. Okay. Now, the psychological drama layer is the shadow mapping, list reoccurring intense triggers. Trace them to the root, right, of the story: family, trauma, family, like past, currency of worth, right? So once you get to that, use Scorpio grade, right, and kind of grade depth therapy or somatic experience. And so the re-narration, right, as you re-narrate this process, take a core scarcity, story and rewire its language using neuro linguistic techniques, right? So it's kind of like, where I would kind of help you out with that. So I used to believe that I had to hold on to everything to be safe. I now steward what I keep intentionally, and I tenderly release the rest. I am not my pain. I am not my trauma. I am not my psychological drama. I do have a T-shirt with that saying as well. All right. Now, the root work, somatic work, chakra work is going to be here as well. Some of the things you can work on to help releasing this energy because the body keeps the score. Remember that. All right. And the sacred tick is a ritual for that, right? You can do some things with an altar, plant a seed or stone, sign the pledge, put that on there, what you commit to protecting or building. Let the moon charge your pledge. All right. These are some more keys you can add to the ritual that I have at the bottom. All right, so poetic lines you can use. All right, this lunation asks you, are you the owner of your life or a tenant of your fear? And there was a movie named Tenant called Tenant that made me think about that line. So these are lines that I kind of pulled from my own experiences and understanding how these energies are. All right, so Taurus builds the temple, Scorpio is the flame that purifies its walls. Make your secrets sacramental and not weapons. Let initiation transmute hoarding into holy giving. When the X's is whole, you become the demigod who creates sacred form and the phoenix who regenerates it. The phoenix is made of ashes for a reason. All right. So some of the red flags to watch out for: compulsive hoarding, all right, covert financial manipulation, right, repeated betrayals, chronic shame around desire, fusion of identity with possessions of relationships. These need these need concrete boundary setting and often outside support, therapy, legal community, in that order, probably, but when you're dealing with invitations, cultivate ritual, slow sensory practices. This is also going to deal with financial audits, accountability, partnership, deep breath work, and regular moon check-ins. Okay, and of course you can do that with my workshops. All right. Now, closing with the transmission is like how to live in this axis in its highest form. Let Tyrus ground you, right, into reverence, the body, the material life. Treat your possessions as tools of service, not armor. Let Scorpio teach you the medicine of ritualized release. Earn initiation instead of hiding from it. All right. Practice stewarding desire. Name it, sit with it, consecrate the outcome, and then hold it lightly. Build infrastructure, material, psychic, ritual that can hold repeated rebirth. Each time you rise, Taurus brings the architecture, Scorpio lifts the flame. Together, you become a civilization of embodied initiates. All right. Now, this is where it starts to get off into the life path numbers and all that good stuff. So, since since I did make this a paid workshop, I will open up for a few questions if y'all got any questions that you want to ask. And for those of you who did get the PDF, you will be able to go in there as you see. Go find your life path number, all right, and see how that correlates as well. Okay, I'm a light path 11, so it also equates to a 2 for me. So I would look at the 2 and the 11. All right, if you're a light path 33, you can look at the 6 and also the 33, my bad. You can look at the 6 and the 33. Okay, so you have the PDF. And for those of you who do not have the PDF, please let me know. Let me know now, and I can make sure I can get it to you. And I might can send it to you as well. I'm even sitting here now. So anybody have any questions? As you can see, this is going to go off into your rising sign. All right. I'm going to break down the chakras in here as well, what houses is going to be transiting for you based off your ascendant, based off your rising. So the rising is the ascendant. So go find your ascendant sign and go down here in this section and look at what your ascendant is. All right. Like I have a Sagittarius ascendant. So my ascendant is here. I will look at what is going on in this area. Scorpio in the 12th house. I remember I told you I had Uranus and Scorpio in the 12th house. And I have that Taurus and that third eye axis in the 6th house. All right. That's why I got my Taurus stellium. So this once you know, kind of dealing with the ascendant the rising sign. I can tell you exactly where your placements are, even if you don't have any planets in Taurus or Scorpio. You have a house that is ruled by Taurus or Scorpio. All right. So the ascendant sign is there, and you also see the sun sign. All right. See sun sign, and then we'll get into the moon signs as well. All right, so you'll see the sun sign, the moon signs, the midhavens, and all that good stuff. And then, of course, with the light path numbers. All right. So, with that being said, does anybody have any questions or anything of that nature? All right. Well, with that being said, I will let y'all go. And I appreciate you for your time, your energy, gratitude for being here with me. All right, and all that good stuff. So, if you do want to get the full reading, make sure that you do hit me up and let me know that way I can get that acclimated for you. You say you love a copy. Okay, got you, Sonny. All right, got you. Not just women, right? Not just women, Jay. You better goddamn know it. So appreciate you all. And for future purposes, be on the lookout for the next workshop. There are journal prompts inside of the PDF that will also be leading into the next moon cycle. All right. So gratitude for you all, peace and love to you all, highest of vibration to you all. Enjoy the rest of your nights and happy full moon. All right. Peace and love, beautiful souls. Namaste.
Gratitude. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Peace.